it's Omicron. Falcon hates puns and thinks that they're all wrong. One's American and one is an Aussie. Talking about StarCraft 2 and the esports scene.
Interesting interval. Twice a year, your Mondays change.
I said at least twice. I might only notice twice. It doesn't mean it doesn't happen more.
Ah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Anyway, boy, again, it is a busy time of year for media stuff. We've got Endgame. By the time you hear this, it'll be out.
Uh-huh.
We've got Game of Thrones is capturing the imagination of everybody on Twitter every single Sunday night, or I guess Monday, depending on where you are on Earth.
No, I'm good. Talking about Game of Thrones, I'm already yawning.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying, if you log onto Twitter, like, any time after the start of Game of Thrones through the rest of the night.
Yeah, all the trending stuff is just Game of Thrones stuff, yeah.
It's like, Game of Thrones, Game of Thrones Season 8, Dany, Jon.
There's one here about
Rhaegar, Arya. It's like, dang.
There's one here that's what happens when you spend spring break with, like, your parents. Right? And it's just a side-by-side photo of the 2 times Jaime Lannister has been to Winterfell. One in Season 1 where he's, like, young and blonde, and one in Season 8 where he's old, bearded, and brown.
Right. His blonde hair is gone.
Yeah.
Yep. That's pretty much how that works. Jaime is old.
Yeah, pretty much.
Dear Discord, I don't think you have to save me from Twitter. Could be wrong.
Could be wrong.
Could be wrong. I don't know. Good times. Man, he looks so different. It was a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
Too. Anyway, good times with Jaime. Remember that time he pushed Bran out the window? Bran sure does.
What people do for love.
That was good. That was such a good moment. Because you could see Jaime like, are you going to out me? Am I going to get like stabbed in the face 18 times right here?
Am I about to be lynched?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if they'd make it fast either. It would make me real mad.
Probably not, yeah.
It's interesting because it's kind of one of the first bits of humanity Bran has shown in a while. He's like, I'm not Bran Stark. I'm the three-eyed raven. Doesn't show any emotion when any of his siblings are like, oh, I'm so glad you're alive, Bran. I'm so happy to see you. He's like, nah. But then Jaime Lannister shows up and he trolls him in the meeting. It's like the only funny thing he's done since he's become the three-eyed raven. I loved it.
Oh, it's great. I did watch like a breakdown of the first episode, and people were saying that it's this weird. It's not weird. It's like an intentional reversal where Bran as a child was much more human, and Jaime Lannister as season 1 was a bit more inhuman, looking to push people out of windows, and now Jaime's gone through all that stuff, losing his hand, yada yada yada, has become more human, and Bran becoming a three-eyed raven is now inhuman, so they've just kind of had a role reversal.
Yeah, I can see that. Makes total sense.
Yep.
It's weird. So anyway, just another episode of people sitting around Winterfell talking to each other and not really talking about stuff that I think matters very much if the Night King destroys you all in the coming 8-hour period.
From what I understand, it's not it's an episode that needs to happen because it's a show. No, because it makes sense in the story.
Yeah, exactly. They needed a table set. They needed to do another episode like they used to do in the earlier seasons where it was literally just people in the room talking to each other, but it was really good anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what this was. It was just people coming to terms with the fact they were likely going to die in the next 8 hours, tomorrow, whenever that is, and just how they dealt with it. And just they wanted to spend time with people that they cared about, or at least people that they knew. That seems to be what the general plan was for everybody involved. So it was fine. Yeah. It was good. There were some good moments. I just couldn't help but put in the back of my head, like, should you be training? Like, making some more spears? Are you really ready for this?
If you're 8 hours out of a major conflict, there is no amount of spears that will change the outcome of it that you can make in 8 hours. When you could be getting a good night's rest. Or raising your morale somewhat.
Yeah. No, you're right about that.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess training is not what I should be complaining about, but does everybody have a sword? How about 2 swords? Everybody have 2 swords? Anyway, yes, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and speaking of the Valerian steel, which is really important, I did like that Sam gave Heartsbane to Jorah. So Sam was like, I stole this from my dad. It's Valerian steel. He didn't want me to have it. I took it anyway. And I'm not a fighter, so here, you can have this. Go kill a bunch of stuff with it. And Jorah's like, awesome, that's cool. And he's a great fighter, so it makes sense. So he's got that.
Cool.
Yep. And then Brienne, obviously, with Oathkeeper, is an incredibly competent fighter, so she's going to be just fine with her Valerian steel. Jon has Longclaw. He's a decent to okay fighter, so that's all right, I guess. Arya has the Valerian steel dagger that was used to try to assassinate Bran in season 1. She ends up getting it through this really convoluted path, but bottom line, she has it now, and again, she's probably the most deadly, like, one-on-one combat person in Winterfell right now, so that's cool too. I think that's it. I think that's it for Valerian steel, pretty much on the entire continent. They've managed to gather it all to Winterfell.
Is Valerian still more important than the obsidian when it comes to killing undead?
Right. It is unclear at this stage. We know that obsidian can kill the whites.
Okay.
Can kill the brainless, I'm going to kill you things, for sure. That's been established. I don't know that we've seen obsidian kill a walker, though.
Okay.
Like, one of the main dudes with the long flowing white hair that we think came from Craster's Keep babies throughout the years. And we've only ever seen one of those killed with Longclaw, which is Valerian steel. We haven't ever seen obsidian tried, but I don't know. I imagine they should try it, right?
Right.
Because that'd be awesome if it did.
I feel like they'd make it too easy because you could just you've got who's the blacksmith dude, Gendry, just sitting there making a bunch of obsidian weapons, right? Like just make a bajillion arrow tips, and then you're fine.
And that's what they've really tried to stress to us in episodes 1 and 2. They keep showing huge amounts of dragonglass showing up to Winterfell and dumped on the ground in the blacksmith area.
Did they find a way to make it, or did they find it?
No, they found it.
Oh.
Apparently, Dragonstone, which is where they were a lot last season, where Daenerys set up camp when they first showed up, just has huge deposits of dragonglass like underneath the castle. Okay. So they mined all that out and hauled it up. So they have, as near as I can tell, probably more dragonglass than they could use, which is awesome.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I totally need to see dragonglass arrowheads on every single arrow. And if there's not that, maybe set it on fire first, at least.
Fire is one of those things that looks cool in movies on arrows, but doesn't actually work.
You put a little bit of pitch on the end. And
no, you put fire on an arrow, one of two things happens. It loses its aerodynamics and it doesn't go straight, and you can't aim it for shit. Or it goes so fast it puts out the flame. Like, that's all there is to it. One of those two things.
You don't need to aim when there's a vast horde of undead marching on Winterfell. You fire in the general direction, you're going to hit undead.
There's a third thing that can happen, which is you can fire it, and then you can have the thing fall off, which it just drops and the arrow keeps going. Right?
Right. I get that.
Ultimately, it's just not worth it.
Okay, fine. Flaming spears? I don't know. Something a little bit stronger.
Sure. You could tie a torch to the end of a spear and then just burn them, right? Like, that makes sense.
All right, fine. Additionally, what I want to see is giant balls of flaming something trebuchet at the undead army coming in, just like whoosh, and then lands on, burns 100 of them at once.
That works, yeah.
They need AoE. They need AoE so bad.
I'm trying to think. Like, they could fill barrels with wildfire and throw it, but I mean, it might burn the surrounding area and then cause like a wildfire everywhere, like a bushfire.
I mean, it's winter.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, I forgot that it's winter.
It's really cold and not much vegetation around.
Right. Okay. Never mind. That might work. It'd be fine.
I don't know that they know how to make wildfire.
Well, I'm just saying, if Cersei wasn't a bitch, all right? Because she's got a bunch, doesn't she?
Yeah, she could have sent some up. Right. Totally.
Yeah.
That would have been great. I do like that they set up trenches filled with just like burning fire stuff. I don't know if it's wood or whatever, but they're doing that. And then there's the dragons, which are fantastic at AoE and fantastic at clearing out huge numbers of undead. But again, the worry is the Night King's around with his javelin, and he's going to take one down again.
Right.
Which would suck.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I was thinking maybe you keep him low. He's not as easy of a target versus when he's flying in the air.
Lower is definitely better. Yeah.
Yeah. So keep it low. You can still roast huge numbers of undead from there, but you're not as quite as easy to draw a target on if you're the Night King.
Yes. Or what you do is you build a giant bunker that can house a dragon, and then they can just sit in the middle with like a little gun turret, stick the snout out. And
Oh my gosh. That's it. Let's do that.
Yeah.
I hope they can. I hope that I had that idea. Because you're on the defensive and it's World War One. You don't have to be mobile.
Yeah.
They're coming to you, man. They're not going anywhere else. You don't have to chase them down. That's absolutely perfect.
Yep. Just build giant wall, build a giant dome, and then have one entrance. And as they try to come through, you just have dragons on the inside melting everything.
Yeah, or just sticking his head out and being like...
No, because if it's got its head out, and then spears from the Night King or whatever could come from the sides, dragon can't look at everything while burning everything. So it makes more sense to funnel them inside, and then when they're in the hallway, just melt the hallway.
Okay, I'm down.
Yeah.
I am in full support of this idea. The thing is...
They're not doing that.
If I had to predict... Yeah, they're not doing that. They're not doing that. I don't know if they're doing the huge flaming balls of pitch. I don't know if they're doing fire arrows either. I don't know. Here's the thing. This is supposed to be the longest, most expensive single battle ever put on film. It's supposed to be even longer than the longest of battles on Lord of the Rings extended version. So, apparently they're blowing millions of dollars on this thing. So, I don't know. Might as well have some flaming balls of
Maybe
fire.
the trebuchets are just giant burning piles of money.
That would be amazing. It's like, wait, that looks kind of green. Enhance. That's cash. It's so meta.
Well, they need it to be green, right? They couldn't get other material because it's CGI. They need to work with a green screen, right? They couldn't get just fabric, so they had to use Benjamins. Like, what else do you do?
It's an excellent point. Yes. But anyway, Battle for Winterfell next week in my Deadpool, I have Theon, Brienne, Jaime, and the Hound. Those are my list of people I think are going to die. All of them have seemingly kind of completed their character arcs, and as a result, they can absolutely die. I could be wrong about that. I think they've done a good job at making it seem like anybody can die in the upcoming battle, which I'm cool with. I really like that they've done a lot of groundwork to make that happen. So anyway, that's next week. Okay. But first, Endgame. Should we talk about Endgame even though people are going to see it before they hear this?
I don't know. Do we have anything more to talk about that we didn't talk about while watching Infinity War? I really don't think we do.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. I mean, we should clue them. Something we didn't tell them last week when we told them about us watching Infinity War is that if they want to know our predictions and what the stakes are for the bet, they have to go and listen to that.
Correct.
Yeah.
Because that's where we did all the important stuff.
Yes.
Yeah. So do that. Go check it out. Is it on the podcast feed yet?
Yeah. It was in the show notes of the last one. It's not going to be in the feed for this podcast. It's not going to be...
Oh, I thought that's what you were going to do.
No,
I gotcha.
No. What we can talk about, because right now it's actually the premiere of Endgame. There's a photo on Twitter of Brie Larson looking lovely in her dress, but someone zoomed in on her hand and she's wearing a set of rings and a stone in her bracelet on her left hand. The colors for each of the gemstones seem familiar.
No. Why would they do this to us? So trolly.
Yeah.
Do you have a thing?
I'm sending you a photo.
All right. Go upload. Ooh, there it is. Yeah, kinda.
I mean,
what do we got? Look,
there's green on the thumb. There's orange on the wrist. And then you've got red, orange, and you can't really see the other two. But they're there.
The ring finger kind of looks purple, sort of.
Well, yeah, kind of. It's hard to tell because the dress is also a kind of purple.
Right.
Right, so it's like, oh, I'm
Screws it
looking,
up.
and the carpet as well. If you look behind her, she's clearly standing on carpet, and one very bored kid in the background.
Yeah. Parents drag me to this. And then the pinky looks kind of green too. So I don't know about this theory, but it is interesting.
I mean, okay, so the wrist is clearly set around, like, the metal around it. That is identical to what the Infinity Gauntlet's metal looks like. Like, just the circular piece right around the gemstone. That's all. Right? And I mean, it's a bold choice if this wasn't Infinity War.
Yeah, true fact. Yeah,
I mean,
that is crazy.
That's clearly, she's obviously having fun. Alright, that's all.
Probably. At the very least, that's what's going on. I agree.
Yeah. It's not like they're trying to tease that Captain Marvel's gonna get the Infinity Gauntlet or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if she does, we'll be like, oh man, that picture.
Oh man. So one of my coworkers can't see the movie for like a couple of days. And so
Yeah.
I'm like,
Because he's American? Oh, wait.
she,
Oh.
kid, I was supposed to say coworker, so America wouldn't matter.
I know.
And so I was like,
Sorry, continue.
Do you want me to like take my phone out and I'll just record like what I think the best bits are for you and send them to you? And she's like, I will make it very difficult for you to work here. And I'm like, how about if I just tell you what the post-credit scene is then? I think she's gonna be very mad at me no matter what I tell her.
Oh, it's amazing. Don't do that. Bad idea. Bleh. So yeah, big week for stuff, man. One Punch Man continues to air. I'm so in love with One Punch Man. Mm-hmm. So I do want to talk a little bit about One Punch Man. So
Sure.
my little brother, who fell in love with the show, I'm very happy about this still. He finished season 1. And he was like, so who's the number one ranked hero? And I was like, it's Blast. And he's like, what do you know about Blast? And I'm like, pretty much nothing. We barely know what he looks like. Apparently there was one fight with a dragon level threat that it was this elder centipede thing. I don't know. They have weird enemies on this show. Was holding off Genos and Bomb and Bang all together and beating them all at the same time. And then Blast showed up and wiped it out. So it seems like a weird way to give him the number 1 hero ranking. Like that's the only thing he's ever done. And he never shows up for anything. Like he doesn't come to the meetings. He hasn't really been seen in public for a very long time. Nobody knows where he is, and yet he holds on to this number 1 ranking. So the big thing for him is that what he always says, or what he always used to say before he disappeared, was he'll only come if he's truly needed. If it's a threat that can be handled by the other heroes, he's not going to bother to show up. He only shows up if there's like a true humanity extinction level event or monster that shows up that can't be handled by anybody else, then he'll show up and help.
Okay.
So then the question is, where was he when the giant alien ship showed up and started wiping out entire cities that Saitama eventually dealt with, but it wasn't like an instant thing? And I guess the answer to that would be that Saitama did eventually deal with it. And if the problem had become a major problem, something that even Saitama couldn't handle, then Blast would show up and do his best. It's just, I don't know. It's an interesting setup for a hero. I'm not sure if he's ever going to actually show up for anything because Saitama still has yet to be challenged by anything in their entire universe.
Right.
So it's just, I don't know. It's a weird way to have your number 1 hero kind of do his thing. That's all. I like it. Made me think about it.
Okay. One Punch Man started off as a parody on traditional shonen manga and anime, where it's like the bad guys want a monologue for 10 minutes and people are going to spend 4 episodes powering up. And that's why Saitama just doesn't care. He's like, one punch and it's done. And this is so boring because it's like a played out trope now in Japanese anime, right? Manga. That's what that is.
Yeah.
And so it's still kind of the parody where it's like the strongest guy isn't even around because he's like, yeah, I'll get to it. You know, if it's a problem, it'll come to me.
Right.
All right. So that's why I think it makes sense to not have the best guy there because they're like, normally in these shows, the strongest guy is the one that's turning up all the time. He's like, I have a god complex. I must save everyone every time. Nope. Don't need him. Don't even need him in the show 90% of the time.
We don't need him unless we need him, and we haven't needed him. So
yeah, exactly.
Okay, I can see that. So in the sense that the show is trying to invert all the existing tropes that exist in this type of media, and this fits.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it's almost like he's acting like a villain, a super villain, right? Like he's being Thanos in this world where he sends other lesser people to do the work, but it really comes down to brass tacks. He'll get off his chair and do something.
Right.
And then he's amazingly powerful, right?
Yeah.
And that's usually how the villains work. The heroes are usually more than willing to help consistently, but he's just not. So,
Okay.
yeah, I like that. I like that theory. It's good.
All right. So there's also Scarlett Johansson wearing the same getup, or a similar. Yeah, it's the same getup pretty much. Her soul stone or mind stone is not on her wrist. It's on like the back of her hand. But
Purple dress? Nope, gold dress. Oh man, hers is more blatant. Holy crap.
yeah.
Okay, so green, kind of a turquoise. Is there a turquoise power stone?
The space stone is like a light blue. It's a light blue.
Blue.
Turquoise is a light blue.
Oh, we've had this discussion. Fair enough. All right, so we have time stone, space stone. What's the middle finger?
The middle one's supposed to be red for the reality stone, but it looks very like dark purple. Yeah.
It's incredibly purple. And then we have lighter purple on the ring finger, yellow and orangish in the middle.
It's like a peach color.
This one is just blatant. Holy crap.
Right.
This is them. They're doing this on purpose. Yep. All right. Well, mystery solved. We were like, this on purpose with Bree? Maybe. Hold on. New evidence. Concluded. Yeah. So, so I will be turning off the Twitter machine and the Facebook machine and Discord and pretty much everything for the next couple of days here. It's going to be great.
I can't wait to spoil it for you on the stream. It's going to be great.
So productive at work. It's going to be amazing. You get so much done. My boss is going to be like, wait a second. Your output is 4 times what you normally are.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. End game. Oh, What We Do in the Shadows. You were watching some of that.
Yeah, you spoiled episode 3 for me.
I sure did, because I got them mixed up in my head, and I thought stuff happened in episode 2, but really it was in episode 3.
Yep.
Yep.
So I'm going to owe you one for that tomorrow.
I don't think that's how that works.
You sounded real scared for a second there.
I am. It's not how. Yeah, I mean, what this means is you can accidentally spoil something for me. Is how this is.
Sure. Okay. Let me accidentally spoil something for you.
Okay.
Tony gets a new suit. It's got 3 buttons and it's lovely.
He has a new suit in every movie. It's not really a thing.
Yeah.
He does. He's always tinkering.
He's always
a tinkerer. Yeah.
Yeah, not a
So
spoiler.
anyway, what we do in the what we do in the shadows. If we haven't heard us talk about it before, it is a TV show based on a film, What We Do in the Shadows, written by Taika Waititi and Jermaine Clement, about modern day vampires who live in New Zealand. It is hilarious. I love it. And when they announced they were doing a TV show by the same people, Taika Waititi and Jermaine Clement, about modern day vampires living in America, I was like, this could easily suck, but could also be pretty great. And thankfully, I think so far it's turned out to be pretty great.
I've really enjoyed it. It's pretty good.
Yeah, so basically the bottom line here is you've got 4 vampires who live in a creepy old vampire house on Staten Island. And they don't really accomplish much. I mean, they're effectively immortal beings who've been alive for hundreds of years. So largely they bicker amongst each other. Sometimes they go out and get familiars to kind of do their bidding for them, which are just humans that they have recruited to help them out. Sometimes willingly, and sometimes they... Is it always willing? I kind of feel like it's always willing in this universe.
It's potentially willing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know if
seems
always,
willing.
though. I don't know if we can say that.
Yeah. Probably not
Yeah,
always.
like-
Well, actually, no. It's probably not always willing. Because that guy did, like, the whisper through the ether to the not congressman, councilman.
Councilman. Yeah.
Yeah, and it feels like that wasn't exactly willing. Like, that guy didn't want to give up his life to scream and call the other council lady a bitch. right?
Sure, but that wasn't him creating a familiar. He was just
No, but
dominating him to like
Right.
preach his message.
There you go. They can get other people to do stuff to do their bidding, right? And familiars, there's usually only one at a time for a vampire. It's not like you have 6 familiars.
Right.
They haven't shown anyone else to have 6, so.
That's a good point. That's a lot of familiars. I guess the reason I wonder about how willing it is because one of the main characters, Guillermo, is a human familiar of one of the vampires, Nando. And he is willingly doing this because he wants to be a vampire really, really bad.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And he's hoping that one day his master will bite him and turn him into a vampire because that'd be super cool. But so far, no good. It's been like 10 years. And this hasn't happened. So Guillermo's kind of bummed about it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't know how much of a weirdo he is. Like, I don't know if we can find other people who are just like him that just want to hang with a vampire and do what he says in hopes of being turned into a vampire one day.
Okay, so there's a series of books that I've read some of. By series, I mean like 25 books.
Right.
All right, so when I say some, I mean like 16. And the books get progressively better and worse for various reasons. But one of the things that the author does really well is the world in which it takes place feels like one that could reasonably exist within the boundaries that they set, and it's about vampires, right? So it's relevant. And
Yeah, okay.
The first premise of the book is like vampires have been made legally alive in the United States, right? They have voting rights, they pay taxes, they're legal citizens.
So they're subject to laws as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Right. And so like the way that she makes that work is by having things like if a guy comes back as a vampire, is his will still legal? Right? Does it take place? And stuff like that.
Oh, yeah. Great question.
Yeah, because their heart doesn't beat, so you could declare them dead, and they were dead for, I think it's 3 days in that world. And so let's say the will gets enacted, but then they rise again. Do they have to give all their stuff back? And so throughout all the books, you're seeing like little cases like that pop up and interesting things. But in the book, there's also massive cults of like people that just work for vampires. One, because they've been around forever, and now that they're legal, they've got billions of dollars just stashed everywhere. So they're good. It's good profit, and there are lots of people that are just into like the new fad phase, right? It's like the new diet shake in Hollywood is to become a vampire.
I never see a fat vampire, do you?
No.
Nope.
I'm trying to think if in the books I saw a fat vampire.
Guillermo.
Guillermo, yeah. They do explicitly state that however your body is when you die, it's like that forever. Like a vampire won't gain weight, but if one dies a vampire, there is a fat vampire. Wait, no, he might be the human that works at the bar. There's a guy called Luther in one of the first books who's like this big, fat, heavy, overweight chain smoker.
Right.
Who deals in information, and he works at like a vampire establishment. I'm trying to remember if he's a human that works at the bar during the daytime or if he's a fat vampire.
I don't know.
Read the books.
I don't know. So the concept is you have to get yourself thin and then turn into a vampire, or you're stuck fat forever.
I mean, you'll be fat, but it won't matter, right? Like, vampires are incredibly strong, right, and have like superhuman speed. So it's like if you're overweight, it won't matter. It won't slow you down. You can bench press a Toyota.
Okay, so if you're in it for the fitness concept and being able to do things physically, yes. But, I don't know, a lot of people are just in it for body image, right? They just want to be thin for the sake of being thin.
Right, but they'll also be thin forever. So it's really, it's a whole thing.
It is. It's very complicated.
Well, I'll give you another example of how, like, the world makes sense. There's a rise of a new church, and it's the Church of Eternal Life, and it's like, no gimmicks, no BS. We just literally give you eternal life. We just make you into a vampire.
Sure thing. Sounds great.
Yeah, exactly.
I like it.
I really like, I don't know, maybe the first 10 of these books. So I could talk for a while on them, but they do kind of get trashy.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to keep that concept going for too long.
No, the concept goes fine, but the first couple of books are like sci-fi thriller investigation, right? Like detective novels almost. And that keeps going for a bit, and then it's clear the author wanted to write erotica, and then the author just writes erotica.
Oh, well, it's a hard left.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
the books start great, and I recommend them.
That's funny. Just don't go too far. When you see the erotica, you've gone too far.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the Dresden series investigates, kind of the real world realities of vampires being real too. Not a whole lot. I mean, vampires are one of many magical creatures that are they actually exist in our world and the many consequences thereof. But yeah, vampires, super wealthy. They've got entire courts dedicated to just keeping themselves in power. They fight against other courts of vampires and try to gain control over humans and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. I like the Dresden Files. Eventually, another one will come out. It'll be great.
Eventually. There's going to be a new Game of Thrones book soon, isn't there?
Yeah, right about the same time. That's not true.
Is it the Blizzard soon?
Well, no, because Butcher is giving updates to the next book as he's working on it. So
Right.
he's like on chapter 48, and he's planning on doing around 55 chapters, and then it has to be edited and sent to the publisher and stuff. So there's a bunch of time, but at least we know where it is, and it's mostly written. Whereas with Winds of Winter and Mr. Martin, we have none of these things. No information at all.
No information. Yeah. Nobody will ever know when it's coming. Except for him.
Yeah. And he won't even admit to himself it's never coming out, so he doesn't even count. Blah. So anyway, What We Do in the Shadows, highly recommended. Really enjoying it. It's funny. It's just kind of so the vampires have been tasked with taking over the new world. They haven't conquered anything. They've effectively sat in this house for the last 200 years doing nothing with their time.
They haven't conquered the neighborhood they're in.
Right.
There's a local pack of werewolves peeing on their gardens.
Yep. So yeah, basically they sit around doing very interesting gardening. We're not going to get too far into that. And apparently making sparkle paintings.
Mm-hmm.
And throwing parties for each other. It's amazing.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much.
And murdering virgins every once in a while.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm working in an office.
Yeah, and working in an office. So the one thing that's introduced that's really new to this universe is the concept of what does he call himself?
An energy vampire?
Energy vampire. Yeah. So he's an energy vampire. His name is Colin. And he just dresses like an office drone. He's got a dress shirt and a sweater over it and a pair of slacks, and he's balding and he's got glasses. He just looks like a regular dude, and he just lives with these other vampires who are all like dark haired and wearing capes and really old clothing, and they've got facial hair and everything. They look like vampires. Colin does not. Colin looks like a dude because his thing is that he just wanders over to you, tells you a really boring story, and sucks your will to live right out of your body. And that's how he feeds, and he loves it. It's incredible.
Yeah. Yeah.
The actor just nails it too, because he absolutely pitch perfect does the tone where it's like, hey, that's an interesting fact. Did you know from something 200 years ago that no one actually cares about? And he goes on a huge rant about the history of horseshoeing.
Right.
Incredible.
Yeah. Well, Bill, you're not gonna believe this, but I've actually changed my position on the Q-tip again.
Yes. And it's so great because the camera looks at the person that he's talking to, and their heads are just going lower and lower onto their desks, just like slumping further and further down. Mm-hmm. It's so great. So anyway, check it out. Highly recommend it. It's very funny. I don't know how much Taika Waititi or Jermaine Clement are on set or anything or writing this stuff, but it has their soul. It's exactly what We Do in the Shadows was 10 years ago, and check it out. It's on FX in the United States.
Yep.
I'm going to assume Microsoft Store in Australia.
Yep.
Because that's where everything is in Australia. It's Netflix and Microsoft Store.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. So
Netflix is on the Microsoft Store.
There you go. Didn't know Microsoft owned your country. When did this happen? If you're in Europe or like South America, I have no idea where you can get this show. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no clue. Just probably Pirate Bay.
Yeah, I mean, check Netflix because a lot of stuff that I don't have on Netflix here is available on Netflix in other countries. So give it a shot.
Yeah.
So what else? What else is going on in the world?
Maru won another GSL.
He certainly did. What is with this guy?
I know, right? 4 GSLs in a row. Steps outside of career, can't win shit.
Right. It's like he has these moments where he looks virtually unstoppable, and then he has other moments where it's like, why did you do that? Why did you get 3-0'd by stats?
I don't know. I'm trying to I'm thinking, is it because he doesn't want, he wants the GSL, he wants to get 5 in a row now, and so he doesn't want to ruin his build outside of GSL, so he just plays badly unintentionally,
Maybe his entire priority in life is to win GSLs. He doesn't care about anything else. That would explain a lot.
Yeah. But he didn't win GSL Super Tournament.
True.
Which Classic did, by the way, over Gumio.
Was it? That was Classic SOS.
No. Oh, was it? I thought it was Gumio. I might have misread.
I'm gonna pull up this bracket real quick. Yeah, it was a PvP final.
Okay.
We're talking about Super Tournament number 2, right? Oh wait, no, I'm in the wrong place.
Yeah.
Super Tournament number 1. Oh yeah. Classic Gumio. Yeah, I was looking at the 2018 Super Tournament number 2.
Okay, there we go.
Gotcha. 2019, the most recent.
Yeah.
Yeah, way to go, Gumio. I mean, you look at that lineup, and you don't think, man, Gumio's making it to the final for sure. Nope.
No. I was gonna say, it's because Gumio would have had to play so many TVPs. By the time he gets to the Classic at the Grand Finals, Classic would have watched all those games and seen every TVP build Gumio has that he can pull out.
True fact.
And so he's like, I know what you can do now. And all you've seen me do is PvPs. Right?
Yep.
And so you have no idea what I've got coming.
It's an excellent argument. Gumio had nothing but PvTs after the round of 16.
Yeah.
And Classic had nothing but PvPs after the round of 16.
Yeah.
That's funny. Also, what happened to my Zergs? Where are my Zergs at?
Oh, please. No one in Korea plays Zergs anymore.
Okay, Dark, Rogue, Ragnarok, Solar, and Sue were all there, and none of them made it out of the round of 16.
Yeah.
If you had told me that and been like, I'll let you bet $5 to win $1 million, I would have been like, sure thing, that's a super sure bet. And no, absolutely not. I would have lost that bet. It's, wow, that's amazing. No Zergs at all.
I mean, honestly, Ragnarok, I don't see him beating anyone else in this tournament, right?
Yeah, that's fair.
Ragnarok's not great.
He 2-3'd parting. He didn't get wrecked.
I mean, he still lost to Parting, a streamer.
True fact. Oh, so if you stream, you're no good? Is that what this is?
No, I'm saying Parting's focus isn't on being a full-time pro gamer, where Ragnarok's is.
Interesting. What about Innovation? Is his focus not being a full-time streamer? I mean, pro gamer?
I would say Innovation is. I think he has part of being a pro gamer is streaming obligations if you're on a team. A lot of them do that because they want to be like, you got to be out there and promote yourself and have some interaction with the fans. Trying to build that hype around a player, right? Like teams want that.
Yeah.
But Innovation isn't streaming 8-hour days. He's streaming like 4-hour weekends.
Yeah, every once in a while, for sure.
Yeah, and sometimes it's League. Right? It's not always StarCraft.
Truth.
And guess what? Innovation, not here.
He is not. Yeah, I was noticing that. Someone needs to pick up Polt. Where the heck is Polt?
I don't know, is Polt good yet?
I mean, sure. Is he out of gold yet?
Yes, he's probably, I wonder if we can look up who's in GM at the moment.
Yeah, I can check out the ladder. Let's look at Asia's ladder and everybody's barcodes because of course they are. This is stupid. Why does this even exist? The top 10 players on the Korean ladder are all barcodes.
And then you have stats at 11, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Polt is 103.
On the ladder. Okay. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
He's getting there.
Yeah, he's below me and Michael, which is interesting.
Wouldn't you want to pick him up though? Like it's Polt. At the very least, everybody loves Polt. Even if he's not going to win GSLs for you, like pick him up. Get some publicity for your organization, man.
Does everyone love Polt?
Everyone loves Polt.
You refuse to host and raid Polt when I ask you to.
That's true. I refuse to give him my 6 viewers, which he desperately needs.
He might desperately appreciate it, though.
He might be like, Falcon Paladin.
I do think a lot of teams are looking for players that are going to win, right? Especially because Polt's got prestige. He might not win, but he's got prestige, which means he's going to cost money, but probably might not make it. Right?
Interesting point. Mm-hmm.
So he's going to cost more money, and look at who else has come back from the military recently. MC. Well, he didn't come back from the military. I think he came back from retirement. MMA came in, was here for like 3 weeks and left.
Tasia.
Yeah, Tasia.
Yeah.
So they might be like waiting to see if Polt sticks around.
Fair. I wonder how long they're going to wait. It's been a couple weeks.
Polt is above Cyril on the Korean ladder.
Ah, see, he is good.
Although Cyril has won 7 games
Oh.
this season, apparently.
S is number 1 with a 5-0 record. The last time he played ladder, apparently, was March 23rd. So, It's been a while. There's a true barcode. According to SC2 Unmasked, they don't know who the number 2 place person is on the Korean ladder as Terran. It's a barcode to them. Yeah.
I'd be willing to bet that it's Innovation.
Yeah,
Innovation or Maru.
probably.
One of the two. I would like to point out that Cyril has, like, the Cyril account has played 169 games of 2v2.
What?
Yeah. And he's only won 129. It does not show who he was 2v2ing with.
Right.
So,
I feel like it should.
hold on, let me check that.
That would be nice.
It does. It's with a Korean name. Like, it's in Korean. I can't read it.
Right. So, somebody he knows.
Yeah.
That's
pull up
funny.
a translator.
That's a lot of 2v2.
Yellow. He's been playing with Yellow.
Oh. Sure, why not? Why not yellow?
Or at least that's what the name translates as.
Yeah. I wouldn't be shocked.
Huh.
I mean,
Yellow is in the clan tag One Piece world. He's a big One Piece fan.
I guess.
Hey, man. I don't know.
I don't know. According to Wikipedia, he's retired.
Yellow would be
And
retired,
he's been coaching a League of Legends team. That
Well-
always, every time that happens, it makes me laugh.
What else are you supposed to do if you're a retired StarCraft player?
Nah, go make a ton of money coaching or playing League, I guess. So yeah, GG Maru, keep winning those GSLs and losing everything else. It's cool.
Yep. The one thing we didn't bet on, by the way.
Yeah, it's true. We didn't do any of it, which is good because I would have picked Zergs, man. I would have been all over them Zergs and just gotten crushed.
Here's the thing. I would have picked Maru and he'd have lost. I guarantee it. There's an alternate reality where I picked Maru and he lost his 4th GSL. Right? He didn't
I
get
did
that
forget about that part. Yep.
Yeah.
There's a multiverse wherein you just keep picking him to do stuff and he never wins another anything for the rest of his career. And everybody's like, what happened to Maru?
That's exactly it.
Good times. Good times had bile. In other news, if you're listening to this and you're unaware of the Fire's Foul Pal monthly circuit, it's a lot of words.
Are we even doing that this month?
Maybe. Fire's Foul Pal monthly circuit. It is a monthly tournament held on Challenge with Falcon Paladin and subscribers and fans of Falcon. If you're listening to this and you play StarCraft, but you don't, you're not on the Discord, you probably maybe don't know about this at all. So check it out. But yeah, not a lot of participation this month, possibly, but we're looking at May for definitely being a follow-up here. So if you want to play against other people who are awesome at StarCraft and you want to show that you're the best person around and maybe you can beat Fire, that'd be great. Somebody needs to beat Fire.
I nearly beat Fire, okay?
I know. Many people have nearly beat Fire.
People didn't, if I had just been like, what?
Fire came back through and won the last one from the losers bracket.
He's won the last 3 tournaments, right? Fire has won his own last 3 tournaments by coming through the losers bracket each time.
I didn't realize it was every time. That's so funny.
But I nearly beat him in the losers bracket, which means he would have had to go home.
It's true. Would have been so good. Would have been so glorious.
Yeah. It would have been
Would
really
have been hailed as Fire Killer on Discord forever. Anyway, that's all the StarCraft stuff.
Is it though?
I think so. Is there anything else going on?
I want to talk to you about a rumor I read.
Yay! I like rumors. Go for it.
Halo 6, or Halo Infinite, as it's called, will be released as a Battle Royale game.
Whoa. I'm going to go with no. How about that?
The lead over at 343 Industries, people making it, also said no.
Yeah, I just Googled it, and that is a very much... They will not have Battle Royale. 343i reiterates.
Yeah. This isn't the first time they've said it, so I already knew the answer before I even read the article. But they basically did say, we think it could work in the Halo game, and we're happy to let our users make it in Forge mode, but we're not going to do it ourselves.
It's a good point. Somebody will make it in Forge mode, without question.
Yep.
Although, interesting statement here, things could ultimately change, though, especially if Microsoft commands it. Remember that Microsoft cares mostly about monetization and services, rather than full game and hardware sales, because services are forever, and hardware sales are once. That's how they see it. I don't know if... I'm not saying they're right, but that's how they see it.
Is that a quote from someone at 343, or quote from whoever's writing the article?
Oh, that's just whoever's writing it. It's not a
Okay.
quote. It's Derek Strickland explaining how this works.
Derek's probably an idiot, because...
Oh,
I guarantee you Microsoft would rather see you buy a new Xbox every 4 years than you buy Halo Infinite once and put it down 2 days later because it's a shit game, right?
No, that's not what they want. They want you to continue to pay into the monthly subscription service model.
Right, but if they do that, people will not play Halo because they made Halo not Halo twice already, and people put it down largely, right?
Fair.
I think if they were to do it as a Battle Royale, people would not pay into it. And I could see them preferring hardware over that, even. Right?
Sure. I mean, they would choose anything over abject failure.
Exactly.
They have meetings where they're like, how can we make this work? Freaking Epic can do it. Why can't we? I guarantee that question is asked like 4 times a day.
I guarantee you it can't. But there's... okay, so here's the thing. Microsoft and Epic both have 2 massive franchises, especially on the Xbox. It's Gears of War and Halo, right? Epic didn't do it with Gears. Microsoft shouldn't do it with Halo.
Fair. I'm with you. I mean, I agree with you, but I'm just saying there are people who are making the opposite argument.
Right. Here's the thing.
Saying,
I think they've already
how do we do
said
this?
Infinite, we'll have a buy-in, if you pay for the game, right? Even if there is some as a service model, which I think there will be. Right, I'm not saying they won't do it. Fortnite is the interesting part, the part that people like, is free to play. Right, games as a service with a buy-in, people hate because you have to buy in.
Correct.
So unless they're gonna make Halo free, in some portion, I doubt it. Especially with they're probably gonna see massive sales with Master Chief Collection on PC, and then be like, oh, if we just make a good Halo game and have people buy in, they'll do it. Right? I think they'll see a response and hopefully move in the right direction.
Right.
That would be my prediction.
Well, we will see. We will see all at the same time, probably.
Yeah. It is only 18 hours till endgame.
By the time people listen to this, it will be in the past.
I'm going to have this out 2 minutes after we stop recording. Now. I'm
Interesting.
That's a lie. My upload speed is not good enough to get this out up in 2 minutes.
One day it will. Don't worry.
Maybe.
All right. Cool. Cool.
Sports ball minute?
I do not have a sports ball minute.
Okay.
Playoffs are happening. Soccer's happening. Yeah.
All right.
Bruh. All right, cool. Well, that is going to be it from us. This has been Falcon Paladin and Summicron coming to you with yet another edition of the Falcon Paladin Hour. Consider supporting the podcast through Patreon and the merch store. We do have merch, shirts and cups and hats and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, check out the show notes for other important things. Remember to listen to the Infinity War pod. I guess it's maybe too late for that. So anyway, until next time, as always, thanks for listening and spending time with us. And you take care of yourself.